Order. Question number 6, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. How much have investors lost on the value of their Mighty River Power shares compared with the price at float on May 10? And what effect will this have on the price the government expects to receive if it proceeds with the partial float of Meridian?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the market price of the shares has declined about 10%, but investors who have retained their shares, of course, have not lost anything. They still have their shares, they are in line for significant dividends, and in addition, New Zealand investors will receive bonus shares if they keep their shares for 2 years. Many investors, of course, disappointed the Labor Party by taking a view of these shares as a long-term investment proposition, and so they will retain them in order to earn the dividends and the long-term capital growth. In terms of the second part of the question about the effect on the price of Meridian, I don't intend speculating on future floats. As the Labor Party should know, financial and political markets move around and can go through flat patches, a bit like opinion polls.
Supplementary question, the Honourable David Parker.
Will he proceed with the partial float of Meridian if the money forecast to be raised is significantly less than the $3.1 billion predicted by Treasury in 2011?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, Treasury hasn't done any accurate predictions of the value of any particular float. We've always said that we would anticipate proceeds of $5 to $7 billion. But it's a bit rich for the Labor Party to be criticising the impact of on the value of Mighty River Power shares after they set out to reduce that value. And
Order. I don't think that's now necessary to that part of the question. Supplementary question, the Honourable David Parker.
How can monies raised from asset sales through the Future Investment Fund be utilised to fund the Auckland City rail link in 2020 when the Future Investment Fund is due to expire in Budget 2016?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, of course, what happens with the Future Investment Fund will depend on what view the government takes as it lays out subsequent budgets and we get the proceeds from the sales, because the timetable for the sales is going to be flexible as well. But the general point is correct, that we are selling 49% of these power companies. As a result of the Mighty River Power sale, we have $1.7 billion in the bank, which I have to say is much more use to the government than 49% ownership of that company.
Supplementary
question, the Honourable David Parker.
Given that the government has pledged the asset sales cash several times over, is it true that their new economic plan is to photocopy SOE sale proceeds to cover spending, National's version of printing money?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no. The handling of the proceeds of the asset sales is set out transparently in the Future Investment Fund as laid out in the budget. Of course, the Labor Party will have to be transparent with the public about its plans to borrow a lot more money from foreign bankers to pay for the assets that we're paying with from the proceeds of asset sales. And I look forward to the transparency with which Labor sets out its extensive borrowing plans.
Supplementary question, the Honourable David Parker.
Does he agree with the 2011 version of John Key that asset sales are necessary to avoid a credit downgrade, or the late 2011 version of John Key that asset sales are necessary to fund Kiwi Bank? Or does he agree with Tony Ryle in 2012 that asset sales are necessary to pay down debt? Or does he agree with the 2012 version of John Key that asset sales would be used to build new schools and hospitals? Or does he agree with Stephen Joyce in 2012 that asset sales will fund Kiwi Rail? Or does he agree with Nathan Guy in 2013? Point of order. Mr Speaker, this is considerably less than the length of answer that we had from Mr Joyce.
The question is now getting very, very long. Will the member bring it to conclusion?
Does he... I won't start again, sir.
No, the member won't start again.
Does he agree with Nathan Guy that it should be used for irrigation, or Jerry Brownlee to rebuild Christchurch, or John Key to fund Auckland City Rail Link in 2020?
Honourable Bill English, any one of those many questions.
Mr Speaker, yes. Because the asset sales give this government the choice of paying for almost all of those things without borrowing from foreign bankers. And what's even better is our choices to invest in those things allow New Zealanders to invest in a large New Zealand company. And I'm pleased that the Labor Party finally understand all the reasons for the asset sales.
Order. Question number 7, Dr. Cam Calder.
Kia ora te kia hautu.